Hello and welcome to another gameplay review on the Virkayu gameplay channel. And in this one, after a week away, we're back with Trundle in the jungle. And all that does is remind me of the original League of Legends video I watched with Total Biscuit, rest in peace, about Trundle in the jungle. Now, Challenger Pro Player is picking it up. So you're questioning me saying, is this champion actually good? And I'm going to say, this champion is actually hidden OP. Win rate is really good. Play rate is on the lower side. So obviously and naturally, you know, you can't really put it in a tier list saying, hey, look, this is a broken pick. I don't believe in that because the stats don't back it up. The stats don't back it up. And I believe there's a bit of a situational usage to him. However, if you decide to go the Divine Sunderer build path, which is probably what you should be going in lower elo games rather than the Frostfire, you will notice that you can handle pretty much any team that has predominantly melees because of this beautiful Q. You see, that slows people and the enemy loses attack damage. So if you want to go fisting, as it were, right, great, because now you have more and they have less, as well as the fact that if they die, you get some healing from your passive. So runes are on your screen now. I am a PTA gamer as well. I do prefer the burst damage proc. You get it, same with the Volibear, the extra damage that gets accentuated on ganks and fights. And in this video, Trundle is a problem. To quote Tyler One, he is a very real problem. And he is in general, I think. Most champions actually struggle, specifically melee champions. Like if I'm Volibear, I don't like running into a Trundle. Can I handle myself? Yeah. But if he gets fed, and they tend to get fed, then it's kind of difficult to actually deal with. Now, here you see Blue into Grom, going to be doing the Wolf Camp now. This is where things get messy, right? There's no AoE. There's just chomp and auto attack, pro jungler, he knows how to clear. He's going down here now. This is interesting because we know the Udyr started top side, right? Early wards here, straight up, you know, he started top side. He's going to sequence all the way down and try and turbo farm. And you will never, ever be able to match this cadence. So what you're looking for, and apologize for pausing so early, 4 camp, into a gank, into a crab, but a lot of 4 camp junglers, maybe not so much Warwick, I mean Volibear can do this, a few others, even 5 camp junglers. If you know there's an AFK farming jungler or like a level 6 rush jungler, and you don't farm as fast as them, let's do this. Get your scanner, and then go on an adventure. Hello, sir. I would like to chump you, remove your AD, and if you decide to flash, I'm going to pillar you, and it's not going to show on the replay. That's going to be kind of tricky. The pillar was here, so he got the slow from the pillar. He gets to trap the Udyr who flashed, and he dies. Now, when you look at it from the outset here, you think, well, I don't have bot prior, but it was so unexpected, you know, that there's no real reason to react. Now, here is where we have to be cautious, because they disappear. Are they crashing? And so the pings are coming through. He does have smite. We can Q smite and get out. Use the pillar for disengage. Use our E field to turbo stomp away. It is even. I confused it. Swap them. Use your W to get away, and then of course your E pillar of ice to disrupt and, you know, just penetrate enemies and pin them against walls. I always do that. Some things like Mundo, I used to confuse the W and the E for no particular reason. It's just my brain twisting things. Anyway, Q, W, E max here. The W scaling is very good. All right, the movement speed, 52%, right? So moving around the map with that is huge. Silas is TPing in here. Particles are dead again on the replays, I guess. Nothing we can do about it. Why? When you know he's there. This top side crab is most likely gone, right? So what you might expect, and this is kind of curious, I'm noticing on the replay, he went up to steal the Krugs, the level 1 Krugs, which is up because Trundle's not even going to go there anyway. You know, he most likely just wants his red. So the Udyr should have noticed that Trundle didn't have his red available. They're actually running right by each other here. This is quite funny. Here we go. Leaves this ward, that's great. Yeah, okay. Peculiar pathing by the Udyr. Could have easily taken the red as well as the Krugs, which would have definitely hampered the Trundle's experience getting a bit more. But overall, the champion, what you're looking to do is really fight it out. You're playing kind of like a Warwick in that sense. Not obviously the same play style and not obviously the same end, but the ability to move around the map so quickly is so valuable, and you can keep spamming this. The cooldown is kind of long, but it's not really that long if you're using it out of base, you know? This is what a well-placed pillar, a good placed pillar. You see, I take a week off and now I'm speaking funny. A good placed pillar can change the nature of team fights and block people. He then decides he's going to do some tier 2 camps and then gank mid lane. Stand still for disrespect with the 3 pixels that is his self. Trundle here knows, right? There's Udyr, there's Silas, bottom lane is pressing, and you would have noticed. Shin is so freaking strong that they're doing fasting Senna bottom lane with it. Which, you know, it can work. It can pretty much work with anything, to be honest, as long as it's a strong engaged melee. Wukong was a thing a while back. I'm pretty sure you would still see it. Rakan's dead, and now we're patiently waiting. Because this is important. This is huge here. He's disappearing right now, but you could do something. Yeah, here we go. Let's go back. Let's go back. Why? Because it's all about the Udyr. You know, it's all about the Udyr. This is an important fog of war trick. It's all about the Udyr. See, we know he's here, and given how low they are, we might anticipate the Udyr coming to help push the wave and maybe collapsing the Ezreal. And the Trundle's basically saying, okay, I'm calling a bluff, I'm going to wait. And this is good ganking patience. This is very good ganking patience. Obviously, we get spoiled by the timeline. Let me help push the wave for the Ezreal myself. He's just waiting. There's no harm, no foul here. He's scanned on his approach. He knows it's not warded. So he can simply wait for the Udyr. We saw the Udyr there. And here we go. Warded. Warded. Looking to abuse the fact that the Ezreal has stayed with no mana and no HP. And now Trundle says, hello, I am here and ready to mingle with any melees who wish to lose some AD. And, well then. That's what I'm talking about. Trundle is a problem. Invades, ganks, heavy map mobility, repeat gangs. You're not going to outfarm the Udyr. You're going to win the game through ganking pressure and objective control. Of course, we have all of these things. He already has the Balmy Cinder. If you're playing a Divine Sunder bull path, it could be a little different, which I do like. The sustain is kind of nutty in a very broken way. Literally, very broken way. So here you saw he kind of flinched. If there's a fight he needs to go to, I'll go to it. Otherwise, let me do the dragon. And now what you can do is you can do your blue. Roaming support. The Stride Breaker kind of insanely strong there. Good ward. I like this. I like this. You know, this is very important. If your support won't come here and hit this plant, you know, they won't do it. But if people die here and they're sort of roaming while your Ezreal just chills and your Khan is not in lane either, hit this plant, even if you're doing the blue, just let's cut it off. You don't want to be surprised by jungler rotating around the top. It just causes so much unnecessary pain. And this world has suffered a lot of pain in the last year, so why force yourself to be invaded? And I'm pointing it out because it happens way too damn often. People go and do their blue, the enemy bottom lane rotate, and they just don't hit the plant, and then they just get collapsed from the top lane. And now Senna's pathing here is just absolutely, sorry, it's just absolutely ridiculous. Why? Why would you even move down here? You know the plant was hit. So that's a freebie. So, you know, 100% KP. We'll take it. Now, we've done the blue. We can do the Grump. Probably do the Wolves if you want to reset, or you can go down bottom lane again. He wants to invade the red. Okay. So here you have two different schools of thought in terms of resetting. There's the Udyr. Okay, so we anticipated the Udyr would be top side. Pillow hits. Ryze tries to ult out. Doesn't work. Rakan is rotating as he should. And now you can just hit the Silas. Now, yes, he heals, but... oh, that flash chump was nasty. And because he died, you get healing. Akali's run from the top lane. Ezreal also rotated over. And this is the benefit. You know, people like to say, well, hold up. Bot lane gap. Why? Why? Because this bottom lane, blue team's bottom lane rotated first and got a kill. They killed the Ryze, right? Then she makes a bad pathing play, so that, yeah, maybe a little bit in this situation. But because Ezra had this time with Rakan now, with Senna dead, they could push it and then create room for this invade with the Trundle. And if something happens from the blue team's perspective, and they fight it, that's their fault. They shouldn't, right? They shouldn't. Trundle resets, no interest whatsoever, good ward, in doing anything really after the Raptors. Now you could talk here about splitting the map, right? Splitting the map. Do we go top side, take this, this, and this? Well, not in that order, right? Probably just go for this. Or do we decide to shadow and deny the enemy jungler? And this is such a big move. This is huge. This is what I talked about last year. yes, you kind of want to do your red, you kind of want to do the herald, you kind of want to do this, and you know, maybe play something top side, maybe help mid lane, although at this point, mid lane's doomed. But you know the enemy jungler is sequencing top side and will be bottom side. And this is the lane they want to scale, but it's also the lane you want to scale. And because you've been there so often, instead of going to the top side, let's cut off the Udyr. And I think I really like that kind of play. I'm staring at the map now, watching carefully. This is fine. You know, he's, yeah, hello. Make sure you Q him. We just hit him with an auto attack. He has a red buff and blue buff. There you go. The Q will do wonders here. You see, look at this. Here's a Frostbite completed. Pillar of Ice goes through, just disrupted the bottom lane, and it gave the bottom lane time necessary to kill the center. Silas TP's in, steals a Rakan ult and dances around, does bird stuff. Ryze TP's in, gets charmed, and I think everybody might be dead. Yes, sir. They're dead. In principle, good play. The mid laners make the TP and change the nature of the fight. That's unfortunate. We don't want to results-based it. I'm much more of a map control jungler. So this, for me, isn't worth. I would much rather tell my bot lane, don't die. But then, how many times have we tried that? It doesn't work. So, might as well be there. It does cost you a little bit of map pressure. Let's not kid ourselves. It costs you a little bit of map pressure. And now, you could go topside again, but the center is roaming. We see it. I think here you could look to contest it. But are you going to be able to at all? I mean, if everyone rotates top lane for Herald and collapses, let's have a look here. Yeah, I mean, you could do your red, but as soon as center shows, you can't do anything else. And you're giving up the objective. So that's the downside of the play. The upside is you get to counter-gank the bottom lane. Mid laners don't TP, and in a lower elo game, that won't happen. And then you can push and sequence upside and get the Herald anyway. Now, because they go for the Herald and they know it, hello, sir, support, are you by yourself? Die. Probably not in that order, but I think it's a good play. You know, if you can't contest the Herald, then there's nothing really to do topside. Top laners are just being an island. We haven't seen this in a while. Udyr's not counter jungling the red. They're activating the Herald, but I don't know, do you want to activate the Herald here? This seems kind of overzealous. Okay, Trundle hits the pillar, the E, uses his W to get some attack speed and movement speed bonuses. Gwen is using a W, and it's a great flank by the Gwen. They're just focusing the right targets. Now you just disrupt the Udyr, zone him. Kali will get kills because she's a Kali, then you can finish up. 10 out of 12 KP. Red buff is available, and the dragon is spawning. You don't want to go straight to the dragon here, because you have a lot of gold now that's unspent, 1500 or so. And you can probably quadrant clear and resequence. Ezreal also wants to go back to base. But yeah, this is not a good Herald usage. Don't do this. Don't secure an advantage and do this knowing that your support just died and their whole team can just collapse on you. And that the Gwen pulled back and did this. That was nice, by the way. That was very nice. So don't complain top lane impact either, if you're a top laner. She was 0-0-0. We make the comment on top lane being an island, and then she just turns it around with a nice roam. 1k gold lead. It will go back and forth a little bit. Right, out of the base, bot lane is looking primed and juicy once again. They're going to ward here. I hate that. As soon as I'm going down, they ward. High-elo bot lanes will do that. We can try and trap. Udyr should show up. There he is. Kind of said that to complete my thought process. We sacrifice our ADC. The Silas is roaming down. You have speed. I mean, Udyr thinks he's fast until you meet, you know... Wait, hold up. Hold up a second. I'll get to it in a second here. We're fighting, and we're fisting. And then two people died. 3 people died. 3 procs of his passive. We take those. That's this, by the way. Okay. We still lose a tower, because Shin decided to stay bot lane and auto-attack that with great ferocity. Successful endeavor, but he dies for it. Long fight here. So, as we said in the beginning, you're looking for that QWE. But if you're a bit more utility-based, you know what? Let's go for that that Emax as well. The cooldown goes from 20 to 13, so it's a huge benefit there. You know what? I'm not enough of a Trundle savant that I'm going to claim to tell you which one you should go. I think it comes down to a little bit of preference. This is just more widely used. Because again, it goes from 12 to 19 and you get the attack speed and the movement speed bonus. And that's kind of nice in lower elo games just for fighting people within it. Especially if you have Divine Sundra. And then you can move around the map in between sequences much more quickly. Much quicker rather. And with the Pillar of Ice, you know, the slow increases from 32 to 60%. If you're going a bit more utility based than like maybe Frostfire tank as we are in this game, then yeah, make your decision. Nothing wrong with either, I think. I feel you'll have some zealots, I'm sure, in the comments that will tell me I must go E second or I must go W second. But try to ignore them. Good dragon secure, nice fight, very close. Everyone was, again, you know, Trundle just disrupting. That's exactly what you want to do. Clear the wards as we approach mid lane. And this is huge, right? Mid-game spike is where a lot of you players tell me I lose my leads. I'm not able to close. If the dude has 14 out of 16 KP, the Rakan is 13. They're doing a great job together. A lot of people now will go out of base, Krugs, Raptors, maybe do Wolves. And your whole team is looking to push advantages across the map, and you're just farming. Now's not the time to farm, right? Your laners are ready to do something. You are the Fed member. You're not going to outfarm the Udyr anyway. Those camps can be a reward. Clear vision, shadow, be present, because you've shown you can win fights. That Q is absolutely nuts. Now you've probably noticed, as I have noticed, that he's only put 3 points into the Q and he's going for the E second, complete utility based. For solo Q carries, again, don't recommend. But, I mean, you steal AD, you gain AD, you have a slow, your Frostfire, you have your Pillar of Ice. Irritating. Swifties. If there's no real hard CC, Swifties can be useful against that. People don't use it. I wish we could see the pillars, because some of them are nice. But they're very frustrating to deal with. Udyr's in the bottom line fighting the Rise here. Again, we're shadowing our team, making sure we're present just in case we need to. He is down 2 levels, right? Rakan, nice, uses the flash. I mean, the ult. Always looks like a flash. I mean, he basically has some free flashings. Trundle is rotated down as well. Ignite should kill, which it does. And, there you go. That was weird. That was weird. See, ideally, in this situation, if you're not looking to fight, and your team are disciplined, like in a flex situation or clash situation, you can afford to just chill and go farming. But I do think in solo queue, our goal is to get a lead such that if this happens, we can be there and be present. And if you've done your job, in terms of farming and ganking, like if you're a volley, I'm up 2 levels on the Udyr. But now that people died, you know, there was a bad fight, people get caught out, and you don't need to go back to base. So now we can do our camps and fall back to our camps. Again, shadowing. If you're going full utility based, then that's fine. You see here, 6,800 to 7,200. So he's down on levels. Don't see that very often. I like that. Second Herald is spawning. I think we might need it. I would try and get this. He's shadowing a little too much for me at this point. This is the pro play thing coming through. You know, pure utility based again. Nice trap. Forces the flash because of the Rakan. We'll take that. Perfect. Perfect. That gives you more than enough of a window. Gwen doesn't have TP. Rise does, though. Yeah, we can do this now. See, so this is a stalled mid-game. And this is where that second Herald is so valuable. Always look for it if you need it. But be careful. You stare. You see, I'm staring at the minimap. I'm watching for the Udyr. I'm watching for the fight. And if there is a fight and we don't win it, we need to disengage. If we are able to sneak away the Herald, we do so. If not, we don't stay and die for it, right? You just don't want to die for it, and that's, I think, the main point. Ryze's bottom lane, 5-5-5 at this point. Rakan decides to activate ult. We have a Ryze TP coming through. We didn't see the particles. Disruption there from the Shin, but simple chase down. You see the Trundle in this fight? I'll watch it again, don't worry, because this is quite a busy fight here. Ooh, careful, careful, careful. Let's watch that again because it's quite messy. But I want to show you. It's getting harder and harder to tell what's going on with the particles not working. So I'm waiting for the Ryze here. Rakan goes in. Ryze TPs. Okay? Look at the Trundle. Okay? They first deal with the Udyr. Now the Trundle doesn't chase the Udyr. The Trundle doesn't focus then onto the Akali. The Trundle then doesn't chase down the center. what's the next target in front of him that he can queue? Obviously, there's the scaling. We didn't talk about it, but there's no real... it's just your bonus attack damage ratio and so on that shifts, but he's building full tanks, so it doesn't really matter for him. Focuses the Shin, gets pushed out, keeps focusing him, right? Right? You see he turned immediately onto the Akali. Once the Akali dived, he turned to deal with it, but she killed the Rakan anyway. So now he stays on prior target before swapping back. He's disrupting. He's letting the Gwen take care of the Shin and then handling the Akali whenever she's in vision. So it's very good team fighting to peel, to understand who you need to focus. You know, keep your team alive. Keep the Ezreal alive. Don't overchase anyone. And obviously if you have Divine Sundera, a little bit of a different playstyle. You could do that. But always careful. That's why Warwick is usually considered weaker than he needs to be, because people just teamfight badly. They use the E in the wrong moment. And yeah, it's kind of nice to use the ER combo on a grouped up bunch of people, but if no one follows up on it, you're losing that damage resistance. So, target swapping, ulting, CCing, it's crucial for champions like this, who are going to be lower down in resources in terms of CS than things like Udyr. And yes, CUAG has not farmed well. Doesn't matter. Impacted the map, 17 out of 20 kills. It's perfect. There is a dragon up. We do want that third one for Sol Prio. The Rakan is already blessed this zone with bird feathers and vision. Gwen is tilting everyone. Ryze ults in. That's more than enough to create pressure. He ults the wave so they can shove it to create a window for his team. Very nicely done. See, now he's level 11. That's a second on the R as well. We didn't even talk about the ultimate. You got to tank Udyr. So, all of a sudden, I am the tank now. Kills the Silas. AD ratios are... I mean, he does kind of auto-attack a little bit, but it's not really as strong on Silas as it is on things like Yasuo, right? Or Udyr specifically. But yeah, that ultimate is huge. Smite isn't up, so it's good. We have the chump for smiting. If you have a Divine Sundera, then that chump really does a lot. You can combo Q smite very easily. I don't think they should have even flirted with this dragon. You have to give it up and run away if you're the blue team. Rakan goes in. There we go. And Rakan is so difficult to face, as Akali is also difficult to face, and Gwen is a balanced and enjoyable champion. Yeah, so that basically drains the life force. Is that literally what it says? Drains the life force. The 40 armor percent and the 40% armor magic resist is huge for tanks like Udyr here. So he thinks, hey, I'm tanky, and then Trundle just becomes the tank, the ultimate tank. I'm thinking about the days as Ornn jungle, you know, when I had gargoyles and you guys remember when we used to have Aftershock and we have all these bonus resistances and these other rune sets? I'm trying to think of the time. It was a couple years ago. But you just have so much armor and magic resist, and then Trundle, which is RU, and you're like, okay, understandable. Enjoy it. I did all this work so that you could enjoy it. That's why I don't like Trundle. But that's a great Baron, and we should be able to close very nicely. So 7-1-16, not a stat line to joke with. We give the blue away if you need to. Throw the vision control here. Watching the TP from Ryze. Get some deep vision control now. That early invade was so good, and I think it's Trundle. If you want to make this pick work, and you're going for that full sort of QWE carry build and rune set, then as we have a fight here, Shin caught out. He should not die because that ult is strong. Gwen is trying on the back line. Doesn't matter. We turn and we peel as best we can. I think we have a bit of an unfortunate situation here. Never mind. Unfortunate for the blue team. You got trundled. I don't know how to deal with these fights mentally because there's just so much sustain and healing. It makes me not miss the healing creep that they were just dealing with earlier in the season. Baron's up. With Divine Sundera, you can really melt towers, by the way. And if you use your W for attack speed as well, it's even more hilarious. Classic. You think you do this a lot in Silver. Look, they just did it in Challenger. Take the inhibitor tower and leave. Take it and leave. Go steal the jungle camps, take the crab, reset, and now use your newfound power to then shove down the inhib. Don't greed for the inhib in this situation. I don't like it when we do that because we have soul spawning soon. And is it the greatest soul of them all? No. You know, it really isn't. But I'll take it. I'll take soul. And if I have total control of the game, that just means Elders up. If you're against a scaling team comp, it can be kind of risky to take the soul if you don't need to. Because then you're giving them the coin flip of if you do a throw again and Elder spawning, you just lose. However, in this case, I don't think that's nearly as much of an issue. We've gone into the Spirit Visage and the Thornmail, so this is a really beefy boy. Okay. And of course, Ezreal and Ryze scale monstrously. Monstrously. Gwen 2. Beautiful. That's it, I think. Nothing more of value for us here. They should be able to close it nicely. I'll just put it onto a 4x speed. So Gwen solo kills the 2 people top lane. No real reason for it other than them just over pushing. Silas checkmates this and gets checkmated. And then Trundle does what he does best, which is just Giga Slow, Disrupt, and Peel. The ADC dies anyway because she's a great champion with Stride Breaker. And eventually they will die. Patience Viceroy, they will die. Rest in peace Count Dooku as well. What a sad video. I'm sad thinking about everything I said. But there you have it. Let's have a look here at the stats. I just want to take a look. Oh, I can't really, can I? I mean, bonus damage Delta Champions 2353. I don't think I can check the runes here. I wanted to check the PTA proc damage, but don't think I can. Anyway, there you go. A hidden OP pick. Very strong in the right hands. Apologies for messing up the abilities a little bit, but there's different play styles and runes and whatnot. I'll be back tomorrow with another one. Hopefully another champion that's doing quite well with the new kind of fighter items. Thank you very much for watching. Please do like, share, and comment if you did enjoy. Best Junglers is recently released as of like an hour or two ago on the main channel. And yeah, keep those beards trimmed, and I'll see you all in the next tutorial.